Yay! Woohoo! Well, welcome back, everyone, to Sarah and I's second write-in. We're really excited to try out today's live stream and see how it goes. So everyone let us know what you're going to be working on. For these sprints, we're going to do 20 minutes with about a 5-minute break in between. So that's what you can expect from today's write-in. Sarah, do you want to kick it off and talk about what you're going to be working on, what you have been working on since the last time we did this, and any little fun things you want to add in there?
Sure. Hi, hey, I'm Sarah Sutton. My dog is playing with paper on the ground, so it's very loud, but it's fine. We ignore it. I am working on, I don't think I talked about it in the last one, because technically in the last one, it hasn't been posted yet, but I hadn't announced that project. But when this gets posted, I'll have announced it. So I'm working on a new adult romance.
Ooh!
And that's what I've been working on for the whole challenge of January was a new project because the first project I had tried to start was just not working. So I'm going to be working on that today. I'm currently at 44,344 words. So pretty good because we started this in January. So from January to February 3rd, I think it's an exact month, January 3rd, February 3rd, 44,000 words. So
that's amazing. Wow. I mean, that's a lot. So did you write every day or did you take some breaks and then how did you end up doing some of your writing sessions? Or do you not want to share that? Is that a spoiler?
No. I'm sure by the time this gets posted, I think I'll have talked all about it on my channel. So I think it's totally fine.
Okay.
But I ended up giving myself 2 days off during the week. She picks now to chew. Is that really loud? Because it sounds really loud.
No, I mean I can hear it, but it's not distracting.
It's not overpowering my voice.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I can't hear myself think around it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, good.
I have a story about that, but you finish your thought. But
don't forget your story now.
I'll let you know, but you're good.
Okay. I technically gave myself 2 days off a week, and then I would try to write 4,000 words for the 5 days that I was writing. That only happened once. We only hit our 20,000 word week goal once. Oh my gosh. But it ended up because there's some days that I took more than 2 days off. There's some weeks that I wrote every day, but my daily goal aim was 4,000.
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words. But then again, if I think about it, as a full-time author, it's not crazy. You know what I mean? I think it's just how I have to frame it because it is a lot, but I technically don't have anything else that I should be doing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know, because I feel I got into the headspace of I don't feel like it, and I was never stern with myself to actually put in an 8-hour workday. But when you think about it that way, I guess 4,000, and if I had 8 hours, that's not crazy. But yeah, it's just being firm with myself and making myself actually stick to a schedule like that.
Yeah, that's true. And at least with the 4,000 words, you can kind of leisurely do it. It's not oh my gosh, I have 2 hours and I have to hit 4,000 words in these 2 hours or something.
Right.
In an 8-hour time period, it definitely does seem doable, but it is still daunting.
It does sound like a lot. It is a daunting thing to think about for sure. And that's probably why it didn't get done a lot of days, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, looking at it as you're trying to get on a better, a more consistent schedule too, and being lenient where okay, if I don't hit the 4,000 words, it's fine, but I just need to make sure I sit down and work for a little bit. And I think that's I think we talked about this where that was kind of the point of you trying to go through the motions of creating that schedule and then having just the set word count, just to get into the habit and, working that writing muscle again.
Right, because like you said, I really didn't have a routine, and it's really hard to go from zero routine to like strict routines. So I feel like January was the month to kind of ease myself back into that headspace. And now for like February, my goal is lower. I'm gonna be trying, I think I said 2,000 words a day. But like so much easier now that I have the routine of it down. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
for sure.
Yeah. So I think even though I didn't hit the 20,000 every week, it was still like overall super productive and beneficial to me as a writer as a whole.
Yeah. And I always feel like too, like the end of one year, starting a new year, it's always a bit of a weird time, like where you want to try new things because, it's a new year. Sometimes it's like that hashtag new year, new me thing. So you're trying new things or like, but you're also like, man, at some point last year, I had either really good like writing progress or things like that. And you're like, I want that. But then you're like, well, that was last year. I need to focus on what I can do right here, right now with my writing. I don't know if that's with you, but I know that's how I felt going into the new year and then trying to reflect on last year and like, it's a new year and things are going to be changing. So,
right. I think for me, it is probably more beneficial the fact that my writing last year, like the first half of the year, I think it was good, but then like the second half of the year was absolutely. I don't want to swear, but like literally every time I think about it, only a swear word comes into my head, but it was absolute crap, So I feel like we talked about this last time. Like you have to hit rock bottom to be able to like bounce back.
yes.
At the fullest, and I feel like, especially that it happened at the end of a year, it's an even better time to be bouncing back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I think too, doing it in baby steps, not just diving all in and giving yourself, baby steps and then trying to develop a better schedule. I think or a better routine. I think that's, a safe way to slowly add things to the plate.
I completely agree.
Yeah, throwing it all on there.
I completely agree. Also, I'm so sorry. She bit my toe. Like she was playing with my slipper and bit my toe. So I'm like, oh, we're good.
You're fine. You're totally fine. That reminds me with her biting your toe. That reminds me of what I wanted to say earlier.
Oh, yes.
When you were talking about she was playing with the paper as you were trying to talk. And you're like, I can't concentrate. So I was trying to film a video. This was like at the end of last year when I was attempting to do the 12 days of Vlogmas. But I had a video that I was trying to film and it took me forever to film because Crash had been sitting in his cat tree sleeping like the whole time. Like I was setting up everything. I was doing like little bits and pieces and he was, sleeping, living his best life. The minute I sit down and try to film whatever video this was, he decides to climb down from his cat tree and play with his little like scratching post that has a jingly bell on it.
No.
And I was like, buddy, you can't right now. And
literal minute you were ready.
Right. And you could hear it too, because it was loud, because it was right next to me. So I had to hide it in the closet for the 30 minutes I just wanted to film. But then he goes, he was just being defiant. So he goes and gets one of his other toys. It's not a jingly like bell, but it's like a little like beach ball thing. And he got it. And then he was like scratching the carpet. And I'm like, okay, buddy, we need to take 5.
Okay. Pause. Press pause.
Right. I was like, this is not working. So all of that to say, I totally I was with you when you were just saying about the piece of paper and her playing with it between your legs, because it's just, I get it. I got it.
The distracting pets of AuthorTube.
Right? And they choose the worst times to do it too. They know.
No, they literally know. Like every time I sit down to start a vlog clip, she needs to go outside. I'm like literally every time, really?
Yeah,
Really?
because she did that the right before we were gonna start the first write-in that we did. We had sat down and we were about to hit record, and you were like, "Hang on, she has to go outside."
Yeah, she's downstairs barking at the door. I'm like, dang it all. We went out. She didn't want to go before. Then the second I sit down, she said, okay, I'm ready now.
What a
Ma'am,
diva.
ma'am. And then she took my slipper, so now my foot is cold.
Of course.
It's fine.
She wants attention.
Go, get a dog, they said.
It'll be fun, they said. Oh my goodness. Oh, look, you heard us talking about you. He said, oh, did someone say the jingly bell on my little scratching post? Oh my goodness. Anyways, we got a little off track, but what I'll be working on today is chapter 16 of my cozy fantasy. I'm really excited. So I have written a little bit since our last little meetup, and I think I'm a little less than 26,000 words into this project. I have a goal of trying to finish it by the end of February. I just want the first draft to be 50,000 words, so I only need like 25,000 ish words, and I feel pretty good about it. I had to go back and reread a little bit of the story to remember where I was, like what I wanted to happen. And this chapter, I think either this chapter or the next chapter is going to be the midpoint, like the actual boom crash bang of the midpoint. So
yeah.
I'm excited to get to that part.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking we have the same goal because I want to finish my first draft at the end of February too. So like
Oh,
this is like a fun little series we could do.
yeah! Let's do it. I'm down. I'm so down. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, cool. I'm so for this. Well, I guess with that, do we want to go ahead and start our first sprint then, since we've been chatting for about 13 minutes?
You know, for us that's not bad.
Not bad, because I think the last time it was 15.
Yeah. See, look at that.
Look at that.
There are times that it's like 20 minutes though. So like we're doing great.
We're doing great. All things considered, we're doing great. Okay, so everyone who will be watching, we're going to do, I know I said this at the beginning, but in case you're popping in now, we're going to do 2 20-minute sprints with about a 5-minute break in between. So this is going to be the first of 2. Best of luck, everyone. I have no idea if there's going to be a chime, if there's going to be a noise at the end of the 20 minutes. I'm not sure with this timer. So we'll all find out together. But best of luck, everyone, and we'll see you in 20. Yay! Did you hear it meow?
I did not.
Okay. It scared me. And it scared Crash. His whole ears were like, oh my goodness. Okay, cool. So how did you do?
I had to respond to some client work emails, but then we got 502 words, so
Yay!
it's so good.
How
I'm
do
so
you
happy
feel?
with that.
Good.
I'm happy with that. Yeah. Look at that. We just know what we're gonna say.
We're like on the same wavelength.
We really are.
Nice. Cool. Well, I'm glad that sprint went well for you. And that you got a little bit of like your client work, but then you were also able to write a little bit.
I was a little worried because I checked it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 3 I have to respond to. Like, no. But we did do okay.
Good. So do you think for the next sprint you'll be able to just sit and write, or do you think you'll have to continue with those emails?
I think I'm done unless something comes up. I don't, and then even then I think it can wait. So I think I'm done. I think I can sit and write, which is exciting because I'm in a good scene, so I like it.
Oh, we love good scenes. Nice. Well, that's going to be exciting too. You'll have something to look forward to, like when we start our next sprint.
Yes, for sure. How did you do?
I did really well too. So I lied. I thought I was on chapter 16, but I had like a smidge left of chapter 15 I needed to write. So I finished chapter 15. I wrote like that last little scene I needed, and it ended up being 645 words.
Yeah. Wow.
I am really excited. And I can't believe I forgot that I needed to add this part, because it's like the scene I need before the midpoint, like before what happens. And I'm like, why did I forget that I had to write this?
Like, this is really important. What the heck?
Right? And so when it was that scene, when I finally remembered and I was like, oh, that's the scene I have to write, I'm like, ooh, this is the scene I get to write.
Oh, and that makes it go so much better, like faster.
Yes. Oh, and I can't wait to start this next chapter. Like the first scene of chapter 16 is going to be so good. I'm so excited.
Yay. Oh, that's the best.
I have really been enjoying writing this cozy fantasy. I wasn't sure how, since a lot of the other stories I've written are like dark or like epic-ish type fantasy. Writing the cozy fantasy, like the low stakes type, is just glorious. I'm like,
I was gonna say, I don't know if I know the difference specifically. Like what makes it cozy?
Well, what makes it cozy is just
like, what makes the genre cozy, is what I mean.
I guess, like, or at least in my opinion, it's like more of like low stakes. There's not a whole lot of, epic type battles, and not a whole bunch of like Lord of the Rings type things going on, battles and things like that. At least in my opinion. I'm sure someone else can give a much better description of it. But to me, what's going on is a lot more casual type feeling. They're just kind of floating through, just vibing with their everyday life. I have a little bit of a mystery plot in mind that I feel like it makes it a little bit more cozy and a little bit more interesting than just, a bunch of bards just traveling around the continent, just singing songs about the murders they commit. Like,
right.
What gets cozier than that? So, yeah, that's not a really good explanation, I guess, but
no, it's good because I literally had no idea. So I'm like, I don't even know how to picture this in my brain. So that works.
Yeah, I feel like the story that comes to mind, like when someone says the words cozy fantasy, I always think of Legends and Lattes. That book, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's about, I believe, this orc that opens up a coffee shop in like this fantasy world, and I think you hear about the epic tales of like her life before when she was, I think, a mercenary.
Okay.
And now she's like retired.
Ew.
I guess that's the best way I know how to, like a good example of like a published work that's like that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that was, I don't know if you heard that meow.
I didn't. That's so bizarre. Yeah.
That is so bizarre because I was going to say that was the 5-minute timer in between our two sprints.
Went by fast.
I know, right? I was like, woo, maybe a 10-minute break.
Woo!
Yeah, that was the 5 minutes. I don't know if we wanted to keep chatting for a minute or did we want to just go ahead and just jump into the next 20 minute or what you feeling?
You can jump in if you want to jump in because you said you're in a good spot and I'm in a good spot. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and jump into it. So this will be the last sprint. It's obviously a 20-minute, so best of luck, everyone. Do your best. Leave it all out on the keyboard, and we will see you in 20. Yay!
Okay, that one freaked me out that I heard it that time.
Oh, you did hear the cat that time?
I'm like, what in the world was that?
It was not Crash.
Wow. Wow.
So how did you do? That's so weird that you heard it that time and not the first time.
But maybe I just didn't. Maybe I just didn't like have my headphones off in time. But then again, I didn't hear it for the break. So I don't know. That was weird. That is weird.
That is strange. I know I didn't have the. I don't think I had the break timer up though the first time, right?
Oh no, you did not. You're right. I just didn't know if it would have played as well. But I could have completely missed it. I'm like, so, woo. Or I could have thought it like my dog like cried or made a sound, but this time it was distinctively a meow.
And Crash heard it too because his little ears went bloop again.
What was that?
So there's another cat in here. Well, how did you do during that sprint?
So I got a little bit less, 448. But it's still going well. I just had to figure out like the phrasing, and so that took me a little bit longer than I would have liked. But still going really well. So
yeah, well, good. I mean, sometimes slower is fine because we have to kind of figure out like what we're wording, how we're doing things. So
yes, for sure. And like, so this book is a little bit more sophisticated in the speech pattern that I'm writing. Obviously, I'm trying to make it sound less like a teenager, which is what I'm used to writing. But also, this girl, she's kind of a bit more high class. And so she's going to be like speaking a little bit more sophisticated than I normally do. So it's a fine line of making it sound like, sophisticated, but not like too over the top. And so trying to figure out that speech pattern kind of trips me up a little bit, especially with what they're talking about. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, at least you know that too. And so you're trying to be more aware of it. You're not just like la-di-da and then fix it later.
Right. Because for some people, they're like, it's okay for them to sound over the top because they're like characters that my main character judges. Like we can see them be stupid talking, but my main character like really be intentional of what she says. And it's more brain power than I'm used to.
Right. Right.
That's
but
fine.
you're getting it done. Yeah. You're good. It's fine.
Yeah. How did you do?
I was a little bit slower with this one too. But I ended up writing a 340 words.
No.
I am happy with it. So the way I'm telling this story is, I don't know if I've like talked about this. I don't know if I have talked about this, but the way I'm telling it is almost like storybook form. So it's like kind of like a story within a story, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was writing the story that's happening, but then I had an idea for like the narrator as that story is currently going on. So I'm like, oh, wait, let me stop this and write what I'm thinking for this other part. And then I'll come back and write this other part.
Sure. Oh, that sounds so cool.
It's really fun.
I like that.
Yeah. So that was what I did. So I did kind of like bebop between like two different scenes, but I wrote one complete scene and then I didn't finish the other one because I hopped to the other one, but I like it. I'm happy with where it went. I didn't get to finish where I was really excited with the midpoint and everything. I didn't get to finish that, but I know that scene's going to take me a little bit of time to write because it seems like it's going to be very like, I won't say intricate, but it's going to be a lot of like little things that are going on. And I want to make sure I hit all of the topics I want to talk about for the midpoint. So I think that's going to be something, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get through.
I get that.
Yeah, but okay, did you hear it that time?
No.
No? I was so surprised because it was so the cat just meowed because it was finished with the 5-minute break.
The way
But
you jumped.
well, and it plays through my speakers, so I was like, I wonder if she'll hear it. But I guess
Which is odd that I didn't, if it is playing through your speakers, I would have assumed.
Yeah, which is interesting. Who knew?
It's just like randomly in frame.
I saw it when we finished the sprint, and I was like, "Oh, we do a little bit of B-roll, a little bit of vlogging."
I didn't even know.
I don't think it was here the first time though.
No, I think it was out of frame, and then I'm like, oh, I'll get a shot of me typing, and then I didn't move it back.
I love the behind the scenes. Well, I guess that's going to be it for today. We did our 220 minutes, chatted for a little bit. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this write-in. If this is the first one that you have attended, let us know how you like it. And we do have another one. I think I'm going to make a playlist, or there might be a playlist already, of another write-in that Sarah and I did in the same format. So let us know if you like this. This is still, we're just, trying things out. It's just sampling for now, see if it'll stay. But let us know how you like it. Let us know how you did. And we will see everybody in a couple of weeks with our next write-in. So until then, happy writing.
Bye.
Bye.